India is known for ancient structures and lot of heritage buildings.
Yes.
What do you think is India's contribution to world in terms of architecture?
Oh wow, that is
How do you balance between functionality and aesthetics in a project like this?
the way it is.
So, what was the most challenging part while designing SAS Crown?
Initially,
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Jayasurya from SAS Infra. Today I have with me my dear friend Simon Knapp from Singapore. So the technology in construction
yeah,
is rapidly evolving.
yes,
So and it's uncertain what the next 10 years might hold for us.
true.
So keeping that in mind,
Mm,
uh, what do you think this project is future ready in terms
yes.
of functionality, aesthetics or technology?
If you look at how the whole technology family is evolving, maybe construction is not the faster one. You see telecommunications, biometrics, medicine, everything is evolving at the exponential scale. Construction is more slow. We are still putting things one on top of another. But then we get new materials that they are lighter, they are better. The glass they are produced customized for any kind of detail that you want. So it's evolving in this sense. But there is something that is essential. Is that is built for humans. So regardless of the material, the wind will keep on coming from there. The sun will keep on coming from the same spot. So the technology that you use now, if it's built forever, is timeless in the sense that it's adapted to the climate and to the location. It will be future-proof forever, maybe for hundreds of years, depending on the concrete. Unless there is some calamity, but in this sense, once you have a building, even a skyscraper that is designed considering the overall environment as a defining parameter, is future-proof. This is basically, even the facade can change, but it's well-oriented, has natural ventilation, is very bright light inside, is well-connected. So yeah, I'm sure it's future-proof.
I would also like to add a point here, Simon. I feel there will always be innovations in terms of design.
Yes.
There will always be new materials for flooring, maybe
Yes.
newer doors, newer hardware, newer kitchen, newer bathrooms.
Yes.
But there are few things which cannot be changed in a house,
Yeah.
and it impacts the experience of living in the house
Yes.
forever. For example, having a higher ceiling heights,
Yes.
for having amazing views from your house.
Yes.
These things are priceless and
Absolutely.
they cannot be upgraded uh, in the same place,
Yes.
because these are constants, right?
Yes.
So I believe the consumer should focus more on the constants, whereas the variables like the interior design can be changed,
Yes.
because the design landscape keeps changing every 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely. Yes.
But a house is forever. How do you believe the Regal architecture can shape the identity of communities who are going to stay in SAS Crown?
Good question, because this is part of the architectural design construction process. No, there is a culture, a society that gets to a point where they build certain structures, but then these structures, they become culture, they become legacy and heritage later, and they have an influence in the people that live there. So in this case, since the building started to go in the market and to appear in news and media, it started to have an influence, not only in the community that will live here, which will appreciate all the qualities, but also in the overall city. So I think SAS Crown is setting a benchmark from day one in terms of dimension and approach to residential high-rise. And for the people living here, it will be a kind of similar thing. So you live in a place that you know that is top notch of its class, and it will create a culture. So this will spread with friends, with society, communities, and yeah, it will keep on having an influence in the long term, not only in the community here, but in the whole region, I think.
As an architect, how do you balance meeting the needs and necessities with the dreams and aspirations of in terms of design? Because there's a constant running joke
Yeah.
that an architect's dream is an engineer's nightmare.
Yes.
So how do you balance that?
It gets almost balanced on itself because architecture is not an individual exercise. You know, the most complex machine that human builds are cities, and within cities there are buildings, parks, and all these kind of spaces where we do develop as people, and it's never an isolated exercise. So an architect can come here with some dream, but the reality is that it's not built for his imagination. It's built for a society. So understanding the society that you work for and you come from is essential when you design. You cannot impose an apartment that is designed by a German person for German people in Germany, implanted, copy pasted here. It will never work. So society and the construction process on itself, it balances those inadequate dreams. So you can have a very good dream, but the society has to put it together with you to make it real, which is when architecture really works. I could design a crazy thing up in the air, it's just a nice drawing or a nice render or with artificial intelligence, some crazy thing. But that's not architecture. Architecture is a social process that becomes the background of the life of a person, the life of a family, of the whole society.
This culmination of practicality and art is what makes architecture more human.
If you don't have this, let's say, poetic and social part, what you have is engineering. Engineering is the cold scientific part of it. So if you look at the work of good architecture, and I make a difference between making a building and making architecture, the same as making a selfie is not the same as making a photograph.
Right.
Or filming with your phone or making a good art movie. It's not the same. So everybody can make a selfie, but only few photographs can understand exactly what they are doing. So the poetic social part of and the whole narrative and the storytelling of a structure, it was create architecture. So in a way, architects, they should work as orchestra directors to combine the engineering, the marketing, the request from the clients, the request for the future users,
The developer.
the
The developer.
the developer. I mean, not the client is not the developer, and to combine everything and make a product that satisfies the whole group. If not, it's not. It's a bridge. It's just a structure.
Can you share a particularly memorable experience or challenge while in your career? Any particular project?
There is always a couple of significant points in life where you don't realize that you are living it, and then when you look back is when you realize that you were living it, no? And one of them for me is very special. Is actually visiting this site with Dr. Rao and with Rajkumar Kurra many years ago, exactly where we are right now, where there was absolutely nothing here, and also the site of the I Tower. And we were wondering ourselves, what could we the best for this site? What could we do here? And yeah, it was just a empty space with some highway outside. And then I went back to Singapore and we started thinking about the place. And after a few months, I came back and we did the Bumi Puja. There was a lot of people. I realized that was a social event. And then after a few weeks, I came back and there was a humongous basement already. There was an excavation really big. And then I understood the magnitude of what was happening in not only with those projects, but in the whole of Hyderabad. The speed, the precision that everything was done, the magnitude, the scale. And for me, this was a very strong learning experience, going from there is nothing around to now there is a huge excavation. And after 4 years, this whole city around, as you can see from here, it was a very humbling and very strong experience for me.
What is the most amazing thing about being an architect?
The fact that you need to learn how your society is to be able to do good architecture. So in a way, it's a kind of social service. So if you are in your own country, it's easy because it's your culture, so you don't need to learn it. It's embedded in you, so you react in a natural way. So for me, working always internationally and in many countries, this exercise of having to travel and understand another culture and being able to react properly and successfully to this culture is what it gave me most in my career, regardless of prices or whatever. This experience, yeah, this is a thing. And then, of course, when it's built, then you want to see it, and then it's a very nice feeling.
Yeah, seeing the structures getting built rapidly over a period of time, it's a unique feeling which is hard to describe.
Yeah, it's very hard to describe, yes. You go from your drawings, then you do the little models, and in a very short period, you are on top of a 250-meter structure. Is really amazing.
Simon, can you describe about the design of the amenities and the clubhouse in the project?
Yeah, of course. This was if you see the way that the lifestyle is designed, we never thought of doing a clubhouse as a building. But let's say when you are in your house, you have an experience, which is a personal, family experience. Once you go to the amenities, you have two kinds of experience. One is social, and one is also personal, because maybe you are having a massage, but it's always more social than when you are at home. So we thought we don't need to design a landscape and a club. We need to design a memorable life experience every time you get out and every time you get in. So for this, we thought that the landscape should be full of small details and small pockets rather than big spaces only for social events, where you could get the social experience at mid scale, because there is no a lot of inhabitants here, and then also at very personal scale. The club is designed as an extension of this. So what is normally understood as landscape, it goes into the architecture, and if you see how it's designed, the floors, they fold, so you could walk around like if you were seamless going from the landscape into the building. So the relation between the inside and outside is always broken, so you don't feel like you are in a building. You are having the same experience as you are having in the pool outside and in the pool inside. You're in the same place, regardless of what floor you are. So this is basically what we had in mind is when we designed it. So let's do a seamless life experience where you cannot feel strongly if you are inside there's a glass door or there is just trees. So let's merge it all. This was the thinking behind.
According to you, what is your idea of luxury? Because I believe luxury can be a subjective term, and
Very much, yes.
it's quite overused nowadays.
Yes.
What actually defines and makes a apartment a luxury apartment?
Yeah. So let's say luxury, if you define it, is everything that you have and you don't really need, in my opinion. Because you don't need let's say, let's try to define it a bit. You need to wash your clothes, no? But you don't need a washing machine. So washing machine, what you need is to wash your clothes, not the washing machine. So a washing machine is a luxury. But now it's a kind of essential part of life, so nobody sees as a luxury. It's something that is normal, that you need it. But in reality, what you need is your clothes clean. So it's very difficult to define what is luxury, because for some people it's one thing, very humble, and for some other people it's something that you don't even know. It's up to each person almost. Each culture has their own definitions, their whole expectations. So, but then you need to contrast this with the reality of the markets as well, the cost of living, the cost of construction. So what for me is luxury is basically in architecture is personal space. Do you need it? No. Do you want it? Everyone wants it. So if you have it, this is luxury. Higher ceiling, wide spaces, the sense of not being constrained or claustrophobic. So do you need a 4-meter floor to floor? No. Do you want it? Yes. Because it gives this sense of being in a more open space, more healthy, more naturally ventilated. Your eyes are more relaxed. That is luxury for me, is to have this kind of comfort that you might not need it, or you don't really need it, but it's a desire, it's an aspiration that you get.
Simon, can you tell our viewers a few of your projects which are very internationally well known?
Yes. During the last years, probably the building with more recognition I have designed is Bharat Mandapan in New Delhi. Is the convention center of Pragati Maidan, which was designed when I was the lead designer in AIDA, Singapore, in 2016. There was an international competition. We won, and it has been built. It was the G20 Summit building during the last September, as I said before. And it got a lot of international awards. And also Prime Minister Modi put the picture of Bharat Mandapan on his Twitter account, where 100 million followers sees your work in this case. So this is probably my most proud moment, to see my design on Modi's Twitter account.
Oh.
And a part of this, other competitions that we work in Vietnam or in Europe when I used to work in the Netherlands. But probably the most proud moment is Pragati Maidan.
And I think SAS Crown is going to be number 2.
It's already number 2. Yes. Yeah.
Simon, it's been a pleasure having you in Hyderabad.
Thank you.
Your unique blend of creativity and your passion for storytelling has inspired us all, and we are grateful for your contribution to changing the city skyline of
thank you very
Hyderabad.
much. I appreciate. Thank you very much.
And we are looking forward to see a lot more iconic projects from you, especially in Hyderabad.
Yes, we are working on that. We are getting more and more recognition in Ensign, and we are working on new projects that they will come up. And I think SAS from the beginning was my first contact with the city, and I'm very happy that we have this long-term relation. That is, it goes beyond for me of just architecture or doing the building, but come to Hyderabad and I feel like home.
That's very great to hear.
It's true. It's really that.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you to you.